This is my first attempt at a video essay. I am doing it on how growing up without romantic attention shapes you as an adult. Something from my experience, and I just thought this is an interesting topic since Valentine's Day is like just round the corner, and it's an interesting thing to talk about. Okay, so my sort of points I'm going to be going through in the video. Um, these are like the main effects that I found in my life from someone that didn't get into a relationship until she was 17. Um, so, number one, intimacy really freaked me out for a long time. Still sort of does, less so now. But if you've never had intimacy in your life, then yeah, it seems like a crazy, scary concept. Um, Second of all, if you've never been told that you're fit by someone that you like, quite easy to backtrack that and take that as, oh, I'm really fucking fugly. Yeah. Feeling unattractive is another one. Um, Number three, like this happened to me by sixth form, I'd say, being surrounded by people who were in relationships because you're constantly comparing yourself to other people. You're like, why is everyone else in this but me? Feels unfair, feels unjust. Um, Got this beautiful quote here: comparison destroys personality. True that, true that. Number four, insecurity around virginity. Um, this is something I was really insecure about for ages. I felt like Otis from Sex Education. Um, I was a virgin till pretty recently, and it's always awkward when you're on a night out or you're at a party and everyone's like doing truth or dare, and you're like, oh no, like people are going to ask me about my sex life, and it's like non-existent, and it's just like embarrassing. But it's not embarrassing at the end of the day. Um, it's just something that you need to be ready to happen, and when it happens, and you shouldn't rush it. And then number five is the avoidant attachment style. I am a big fan of this one. Like the idea that basically romantic relationships seem so foreign and so intimidating by the time you're like a young adult that it's just easier to avoid them. That's what your brain says. It's like as soon as you're getting that attention, you want to run away from it. So you never actually build anything because you're so nervous about the concept of it going wrong and getting hurt. So these are my like main things that I found in my life as a result um, of not having any sort of deep romantic connections until I turned like 17/18. Okay, so let's begin with my own experience of this. So I want to start off by putting a background on the fact that high school was not it for me. I did not have any positive sort of connection with um, anyone that I found attractive. Um, I was quite unsure in myself in high school. It took me a while to build my own personality. Um, I did have a lot of failed talking stages from about, I don't know, 15 to 18. Um, Number one being this situationship I had that lasted 6 months that turned out to actually like completely ruin my perception of a relationship. So I felt like we were in a relationship, we were not in a relationship. He made that very clear. And he ignored me at school, even though we talked all the time. So that was horrible. Um, so something I always say is, you know what, it's sometimes better to be single than to be traumatized by stuff that you could avoid. Um, no one in my close vicinity in year 9 and 10 was in a relationship, so I didn't really have the pressure in high school or like sort of background feeling of like, oh no, like my friends are all in relationships, I need to be in one. Um, and I think, yeah, the biggest takeaway for me from high school was it really took building my own personality to gain any attention from either sex. I'm bisexual, so I was obviously feeling a bit cheated about the fact that I had the whole world as my ocean with fish in it, and I didn't get anyone. So yeah, confidence is actually key from my own takeaway from that whole experience. However, sixth form arrived. I got my first boyfriend at 17. Um, he was like a friend of mine in the same sort of friend group as me. Um, and we started dating. Surprise, surprise, he turned out to be a twat. Usually is the case. Sorry, guys. First boyfriends are never really this shit. I can't speak for everyone, but it was not good. Um, he told me that he didn't want a relationship 3 months in, which kind of fucked me up. I was like, okay, so what have we been doing then the whole time? Um, so after that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break from this. I was single for a good year, um, till I got to university. Slightly experimented at the start, had a couple of like club makeouts, talking stages, got on Hinge because I was like, you know what, why not? Like, I want to date someone. This will be fun. And the Hinge gods gave me my beautiful girlfriend called Maddie. Me and her here, and this is the first relationship I've ever been in where I'm like, whoa, this is nice. This is positive. This is making me feel good about myself. Um, but before that, genuinely hadn't happened to me before. My ex boyfriend gave me no comfort about like the way I looked. Like he never complimented me. Um, we never had sex. Like nothing like that ever happened to me. So I was really insecure even in the relationship. So yeah, basically, this is my first relationship that I've ever been in where I feel confident. So this brings me to my main point of the video. Even though this relationship is amazing, um, my biggest fear sort of happened. Trying to ignore that in the background. Um, at the start of the relationship, like kind of both times, I felt so insecure around my own actions because I'd never been in a proper relationship before. Throughout my youth, I couldn't fathom how someone would be attracted to me because it was something I'd never experienced before as like a young adult. I never really had people like reply to my story that were like, "Oh, you're so hot." Like people, I had my friends do that, but no one that I actually like. I guess like wanted to say that to me. Um, Sounds really depressing. I still definitely have that sort of confidence within myself. Like I don't think I'm this fugly little mouse, but I still find the concept of people thinking that I'm attractive as like not comfortable. Like I don't feel like that is something that actually would happen to me because it never happened to me like the entirety of my like teenage years basically. Um and yeah, it just really threw me for a loop. Like I felt so out of my depth because I was like, why am I getting these like bits of reassurance that I've never felt before, and why instead of it feeling like really lovely, it did, but it also felt really strange and really like I almost didn't deserve it. I kind of felt like I was constantly trying to protect this younger version of myself because I was like bullied a lot in high school. I got like a really bad haircut when I was 12, and it just sort of completely like it meant that I got bullied from like the ages of like 12 to 14. Um, I was like kind of a bit radical in high school. Like, I had a lot of different sort of eras, and people just didn't like me. Um, so I got bullied a lot, and it was something that I thought I'd left in my past. When I got to university, I was like, "Whoa, this is still massively affecting me." I didn't realize. I still feel really insecure and unsafe sometimes around big groups of men. Like my flat in my accommodation is like half and half, and when the guys would have their friends round and I go into the kitchen, I literally felt so anxious, and I was like, this is so weird because I know all of these people. Why do I feel so nervous? I also still find it really hard to take compliments, not necessarily about my style, but more about like my features, because like that's a lot more sort of personal than people saying, "Oh, I love your like top." Like I can take that, but I still find compliments quite difficult. And then I just feel like my 12-year-old self every time I see someone from that era. I saw someone like a month ago. who was not necessarily someone that directly bullied me, but was in like a group that did. And I literally burst into tears when I saw them, which was really kind of, it really took me aback. I felt really embarrassed, but I was like, okay, so this, I'm not over this. I'm still dealing with this. And that's something that I really want to like make clear is that a lot of the time people that haven't been in romantic relationships until they're like 18 or 19 or 20 have often been bullied in high school or have struggled with their sort of perception of themselves because of other people. And I think like it's really okay to like take your time because it's something that takes a long time to heal from. I found that out the hard way. And you should never ever like make yourself feel shit about that. Like you are allowed to take time because it's not something that should happen to children. So, you know, give yourself the grace of being like, you know what, maybe I need to sit with this and make myself feel confident again before I can be around someone else to try and do that for me. Um, but there is a big positive within all of this. There is light at the end of the tunnel, as I've found. Whilst it seems like if you haven't experienced it until you're an adult, like, and that might affect you growing up, it's not the case necessarily. Obviously, you might be insecure about a few things, like I am, but you are a unicorn and people are going to love you. Like, people may just be massively intimidated by your mega aura, um, or you haven't found the right person for you yet. You haven't found someone that treats you well enough. And, like, it's so much better to wait. It's so much better to wait until you feel like you're in the right place for love because it is a burden and it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of your energy. So you have to be ready for it and you have to be ready to like give yourself to someone else, which is really scary if you've never done that before. Um, and my one thing that I tell everyone is that there is nothing wrong with being single. Oh my god, I hate people that can't be single. It pisses me off so badly. Like, what do you mean you can't not have a boyfriend for 1 week? That's horrible. No, being yourself, being independent is so much more respectable than constantly clinging on to people that don't treat you well. There is so much more power in being able to love yourself than to like just be attached to someone else. Um, it is fun, it is lit. Obviously, being in a relationship is also fun and amazing. I can say from both sides. I was single until I was 17, and I had no urge to change that for a very long time. Um, there is literally nothing wrong with it, and if you can't be single and you can't like if you feel like being single is embarrassing, I would actually argue the opposite. I mean, being in a relationship, like, what do you mean you need other person's validation to live your life? Be yourself, and especially if you do get into a relationship and you've never been into one, don't lose yourself in the process. You need to cling on to who you are because that person might not be around forever. So remember who you are in a relationship. You're a baddie, is what you are. And although it affected me, obviously, not being in a relationship until I was 17, I don't let it affect me today. I don't want to be that person that is constructing their life based on how they want other people to perceive them, like sexually or romantically. That's not the way that I am, and I think that is something that is really key. Like, you should not let how you think others want you to be perceived change who you are. It's not cool. It's not cool and it's not lit, and you need to be your own person. So, my takeaways from this video: don't let your childhood/teenage years hold you back. There is nothing wrong with having been a single girly or a single boy for, your entire life basically. Doesn't mean that you can't find that when you're growing up. Doesn't mean that you can't have fun. Like, there is nothing wrong in that. And if you're finding that like you don't feel like you're attracting the right people, pursue it yourself. Get a dating app. Go out to a club or a pub or just like pursue other people. If you want someone, go and get them. There is nothing wrong with searching for it yourself. Um, I got Hinge and I got a girlfriend. So I'm here to say that I kind of love dating apps with a certain level of caution. My mum's best friend got stalked through Hinge, so do be careful, obviously. But they're a bit of fun, and you may as well. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with having a few flings from like a dating app. Um, I really need people to hear this when I say you aren't ugly. You just haven't had anyone tell you how beautiful you are yet. Okay? It comes with time, and I know it's hard to wait for it. I've been there, but you've just got to like let it happen, wait for the right person to tell you, and then you'll feel it, okay? Um, Romantic attention should never be the goal of. Sorry, my mic switched off. I'm going to cut that. Romantic attention should never be the goal of your life. That's embarrassing. Sorry. That's another thing I'm going to say. Romantic attention is not the be all and end all. You can have an amazing life without ever having been in a relationship. And um, I think it's like really important to remember that because in media, all we talk about is like, "Ooh, is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend?" Like, these are your tips for how to look sexy. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. Don't care about other people. And lastly, you need to prioritize about how you feel in yourself before you can be in a relationship. If you've had your whole life without it, you need to wait until you're comfortable in the fact that you have to give yourself to someone else because it's scary and it's weird. And I'm going to tell you that from my own life. It is terrifying. But with the right person it's worth it, okay? Like relationships should be an add-on to your life, not the be all and end all of your life. Like especially when we're young. There's no point in like being in a relationship and that being all you ever think about. Obviously, when you're in love, you do think about it a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's epic, but you need to make sure that you're prioritizing your friendships, your ambitions, like fun. Just like have fun, okay? We're all young. This is what I keep telling all my friends at uni. We're all young and we're all lit. And being single is epic, being in a relationship is epic, as long as you're getting treated right. And last but not least, do not sit in your room listening to Will Anyone Ever Love Me by Sif Jan Stevens because you're not going to gain anything from that. Trust me, I've been there. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to wallow. So I hope somebody got some takeaway from this. It's really, really something I'm passionate about. Like I'm quite excited by this concept of doing video essays, and I will be doing more. So yeah, if you like this, maybe hit a like. I feel like really cringy saying that, but you know, and remember, you are lit and you don't need anyone else to tell you, okay?